All right, what's poppin', y'all, man? Check this out, man. We coming with some news for you real quick, though. You know what I'm saying? I know it's all about the music sometimes. Everybody got their special requests and all that, but sometimes you got to, like, take a back seat and reflect on stuff that is going down. So, you know what I'm saying? Now, peep this. What's done in the dark always come to the light. Therefore, when they, like, put the hit out on Young Dolph or whatever, it just came back, man. Because, first of all, that's what karma does. You know what I mean? It comes back some kind of way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? So don't think you could just be out there doing people wrong and then ain't nothing gonna happen to you. But from this understanding right here, man, and allegedly, your Gotti got arrested for the Young Dolph get down. That's why his brother Big Juke got killed last week. You know what I'm saying? And they continuing to just keep popping shells at each other, which is ridiculous to me. You know what I mean? As a black man watching us just tear each other down. All this money y'all making, all this shit y'all doing, y'all basically out there messing that up. Now the kids is fatherless, and then the money you was making, you don't got it no more. It's crazy, bro. But we finna get into this news right quick. You know what I'm saying? And let them tell the story because I don't want to speculate the speculations, man. You know what I mean? So we're gonna let them like describe what went down, what's going on, and we just keeping y'all informed. If you're Gotti fans, if you're a Young Dolph fan, if you're a Big Juke fan, you know what I'm saying? And definitely if you're an MC Doc fan, baby, you know what I'm saying? We in the house. But let's get to it, man, because I love every human on earth, man. We shouldn't be going through hard times, but this is the devil's domain. So we got to, like, you know what I'm saying, bob and weave and try to let God's people rule eventually one day, man. It's getting out of hand. We finna get into this, man. Yo Gotti arrested for Young Dolph, man. Let's see what's up. Holler at your boy. Hit!
We got new and emerging details about Big Juke and Yo Gotti. You know, Yo Gotti is on stage performing after his recent brother's murder, and we're going to jump right into it and talk about everything and all the facts and details that need to proceed forward with this conversation. So let's jump into this. Yo Gotti's already back on stage, surprising fans at 42 Doug's concert. You know, less than a week after his brother Big Juke was killed in Memphis. And, you know, he's already back on concert, on stage. His brother just got killed. The brother that he's been through it all with, you know, done everything with. And I know some people grieve differently about what goes on in their life, but this is something major and significant. For him just to show up on the stage and, you know, not have any grievance to the public or talk about anything to the public, because remember, this on-stage performance that recently just happened was a tribute to his bigger brother Juke. Gotti's, you know, looking iced out with the chains and an angelic all-white fit, going about his business despite the very public tragedy that he's coping with. But as we recently and previously reported, the Tennessee-born rapper's big brother was shot and killed Saturday, January 13th, outside a restaurant in Memphis. He was just 47 years old. And remember, in the video that started circulating online about Juke's final hours, where he grieved with his close friends and family at his uncle's restaurant, the shooting happened just hours after he left the event. DJ worked with Yo Gotti closely at his label Collective Music Group, through and more on the business promotion side than as his artist. And so cops still aren't sure exactly who killed Juke or why, though. They have a pretty big lead in the case, posting pics of a white Ford Explorer they say may have carried his killers and offering the public a cash reward for information. But if they're posting pics of the white Ford Explorer and they're offering the public a cash reward for supposedly having more information, they must know what exactly is going on. They just want to have this information from the public so that it's solidified, so that in court, there's no way this person can get out of the situation, that they have all the documents and all the proof that's needed from the witnesses. But nobody wants to come forward as a witness. Why is that? Think about it. And so, bottom line is, we're sorry for your loss, Gotti, and happy to see you back doing what you love, but at the same time, you gotta have some love for your brother that just died, you know? Big Juke, like I said earlier in the video, you went through it all with him. And then for you just to go back on stage performing like nothing's happening, and even your wife, Angelica Simmons, said something about this where, you know, why are you performing on the stage and then you're trying to say it's a tribute, but you're just singing the song? He wasn't, what was he saying in this tribute? What was he talking about with his brother? He wasn't saying any condolences. He wasn't, saying a 5 or 10 minute speech to the side and talking about what his brother did in his life or everything that they've been through. No, he just simply performed on the stage, and then that's the whole concert. That's the whole event.
And talk about, and I say how it's related to how the feds, this case may be turned over to the feds because it's in connection with Young Dolph.
And, this case now may be turned over to the feds because this right here is in connection with Young Dolph. Now, if we all remember what happened to Young Dolph getting set up at the Makita's cookie store, and, he helped out his community. He helped out the public. He talked to the people. He did right for his community. He's going to his favorite cookie store. All of a sudden, somebody enters through the back door. He gets shot through the window. They get in the getaway car, the yellow and the white Suburban, and then everything is just like, peachy after that? You got to think about what's going on behind the scenes. People are getting set up nowadays. You even could look at P&B Rock when he was at the Chicken and Roscoe and Waffles with his wife, and his location got tagged, and all of a sudden a guy pulls up to shoot him in front of his wife and his kids for a change. You got to think about what's going on today, people. People are getting set up left and right. People can say they're your friend. They can say they're all for you, but then behind the scenes or behind closed doors, they're actually ratting out your location, ratting out what you got going on with your personal surveillance and your security, and looking for the loopholes to get in between that, to do something to you. And this is what you got to keep in mind, people. You got to be looking out for these things. But, we're going to continue on with Big Juke and Yo Gotti and everything that's going on with that right now. And so, Anthony Big Juke Mims was 47, was the older brother of the noted Memphis rapper and record label mogul Yo Gotti, aka Mario Mims. And so Anthony Mims was actively involved in Gotti's record company, the Collective Music Group or CMG label. It's not known what Anthony Mims' official title with the label was or if he had one, but he was often seen at the side of the label's artists at various events and industry sources and indicate he was involved in scouting talent, helping manage and promoting projects for the company. Now, if you guys don't know Big Juke, he actually was one of the CEOs. He wasn't just your average guy. He was one of the good top dogs in the company. He was one of the major people making the labels and managing things with Yo Gotti at the big tables. So this is just some good information for you guys to know on the side.
Because it could be a sacrifice.
But another thing about this is that the commercial appeal made efforts to reach representatives of the CMG label, which is partnered with major label Interscope, but they did not respond to requests for comment. Much of the immediate reaction online following the news of Mims' death came from the CMG artist Anthony Mims worked with. While Yo Gotti has not yet publicly commented on his brother's death, several artists and performers took to social media following the news. And so on Instagram, superstar CMG rapper Glorilla posted a photo of herself at the 2023 Grammy Awards with Yo Gotti and Big Juke with the caption, "Get your rest," with the crying emoji. And if you guys don't know, Glorilla was a good friend of Yo Gotti's and Juke. She actually Juke behind the scenes, if you guys didn't know. And even though, he has everything, he did have some side affairs that were potentially going on. And so she actually, just so you guys know about this. Another CMG rapper, Big Boogie, posted a photo of himself with his head bowed referencing Big Juke with the words "Forever Love You." Big Boogie also posted a series of Instagram stories with photos and videos of Big Juke with similar messages. And so if you guys don't know about Big Boogie is a known rapper in the West Side community. He's known for his rap music that talks about life and, talks about love. And Big Juke was one of his best friends. So he's just sending out his condolences to Big Juke right now. And because they had a deal that was going on the low. And people don't know this behind the scenes of what that deal was, but I'm going to explain it more. And so Blueface's manager, Wack 100, is sending an apology. So Wack, like many fans, grew deeply troubled by the news Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke, was shot and killed over the weekend and declared MLK's vision to be dissolved in 2024 while owning up his own sins as well. And so, in his open letter, Wack laminates, "My apologies, Dr. King. You fought for desecration, and we turned around the segregated ourselves. Your fight for the people who's turned into the fighting of our own people. I myself at one time played a part in this. My apologies on your born day. You died for what we take for granted. Rest in peace, Dolph. Rest in peace, Big Juke. Rest in peace, King Von. Rest in peace, Draco. Rest in peace, Marlo. And rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. And so dozens of Stop the Violence movements have followed each of the rap artists' deaths. And so meanwhile, Memphis police are currently looking and asking the public for leads in Juke shooting. A Ford Explorer they believe may be a getaway vehicle is on high alert in the city. And so, talking about this right now, they're asking about leads to the Ford Explorer, but how is it that they don't know where this getaway driver drove to? So, CMG, they put themselves in a bad predicament because they already knew what they did to Young Dolph and everything that happened with that. They promised Young Dolph on some labels. You know, they set him up. He got set up in the Makita's cookie shop, and now we're looking at Big Juke. It was a setup of what happened with that Ford White Explorer. He actually got set up and shot. Now Yo Gotti, going to his new concert, is wearing a bulletproof vest. But Yo Gotti thinks that bulletproof vest is going to save him. If they want to take him out, they'll take him out. And so, you know.
So that's real true too. Real quick, I'm gonna let it finish though, because you wear the bulletproof vest on your chest, but your head's still open. It don't even make sense.
Young Dolph being taken out the way he was taken out, that already caused a stir-up in his city of Memphis. That already held back a war that was potentially going to happen in the streets right there. But when Big Juke got taken out after Young Dolph, people were tired of it. People were fed up. Now there's a big war going on in Memphis streets. You know, people are getting the answers that they want. People are getting the justice that they want. But we're trying our best to do as much as we can, and as much as we can for the public, as much as we can for our people. But the streets right now are getting a little crazy. So the city is on high alert right now. And with the city being on high alert, we may start doing closures. We may have to do the RICO, RIP to Young Dolph, RIP to Juke. And hey, this is a continuing war going on in our community and in the suburbs. You know, we are going to try our best to help the community. We're going to try our best to help our people. We're going to try our best to not get civilians involved. But we're going to have to see what happens, and only time will tell. You know, everything that happened with the Makita's cookie shop, that's still under investigation too. Even though that's long gone and it was supposed to be over, we're still investigating things about Young Dolph's murder and about the crime scene and about the getaway drivers and the setup. You know, for that to happen, how it happened, shouldn't have happened.
So I'm going to sum it up like this to y'all, dog. For those out there, though, when you continue to want a lot of these, make sure you got a lot of these. You know what I'm saying? And it makes a difference, though, because people are getting set up just because of the stuff you wear. You know what I mean? The shoes you got on, somebody going to be, oh, he balling. You know what I'm saying? So the more you try to continue to buy these, keep a lot of these. And then that's all I can do. I'm going to give y'all a lesson every day. But on the real, though, be polite to people, love people, but protect yourselves, man. Because if not, when you get got, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? So my condolences to everybody that lost their life, man, period. For the last 5 decades. Everybody that lost their life, man, my condolences.
Yo Gotti is one of the biggest rappers in the history of Memphis, but he's still connected to the brutal street drama in the city. Having street ties gave him a lot of clout in the industry, but it also got his own brother Big Juke killed. And today we're breaking down the wild story of how Juke got murdered right after his uncle's funeral. On January 13th, a cop with the Memphis PD was driving around Winchester Road when he heard shots going off out of nowhere. And when he pulled up to the scene outside of a restaurant in the area, there were 2 dudes on the ground with gunshot wounds. One of the guys was rushed to the hospital and listed in critical condition, but the other guy was identified as Big Juke and pronounced dead on the scene. According to the cops, it was a targeted hit and not just a random shooting. But right now, nobody has any idea about who pulled the trigger. Surveillance footage caught a white Ford Explorer with tinted windows leaving the area, but the cops don't have any suspects in the case yet. Big Juke and the other dude who got shot had just left the funeral for Juke and Gotti's uncle, Eric Bovan, aka Las Vegas Eric. Eric was a big-time hustler back in the day who allegedly ran a massive drug ring that Gotti and Juke's aunts were affiliated with. Juke's aunt Janet married Eric and was allegedly helping him push weight. And in the 80s, his aunt Linda got caught up in the drug case because she was allegedly working with him too. Juke's uncle Eric and his crew were allegedly making millions by moving drugs between California and Memphis. According to the cops, they ran the whole thing out of a nightclub, and for a while, they had the game in Memphis on lock. But when you're moving that much weight, it's only a matter of time before the feds catch on. And in '89, Juke's uncle Eric and his crew caught a massive case, and one of his homies flipped and started working with the FBI. There aren't a lot of details about Eric's drug ring back then, but there is some public info from Juke's aunt Linda because of an appeal she made to the court. According to the documents, Eric was the boss of a cocaine ring that was bringing drugs into Memphis from Los Angeles. They was using Aunt Linda's crib as a stash house, and Uncle Eric's homie Earl Woods testified that he went with Uncle Eric and Aunt Janet to the crib one day, and Eric's wife Linda handed them a sack with 25 to 40K in it. Eric's homie Earl also told the court that another day, he gave Janet a bag with 7 kilos of cocaine in it, and she told him she was taking it to Linda's house. Linda was allegedly pushing a lot of weight for Eric, but when the cops raided her crib, they only found a loaded revolver and a shoebox with trace amounts of cocaine in it. Aunt Linda caught an 84-month sentence for drug conspiracy charges, while Uncle Eric got hit with 10 years and his whole operation fell apart. Eric wasn't the only drug lord affiliated with Juke and Gotti though. But before we get into that, let's take a look at why Gotti's beef with Young Dolph might have something to do with the whole situation. Back in the day,
man, and it'd be all because of stuff like this, man. Stuff like that. You just see somebody got something and you take their life for it. Y'all better strap up, man. On the real. When it say sword up in the Bible, it ain't saying really pick up no sword. It's just saying just get your shit ready, man. You don't know what demonic force out there is coming to haunt you. So therefore, as a child of God, you got to have some kind of retaliated type of spirit. Put it like that. Let's finish it off, man, and I'm through. I ain't going to push the button no more. Let's rock. Like, share, subscribe, baby. Let's go. This real life right here, though.
Dolph and Gotti were cool, and Dolph was allegedly even the plug for one of Gotti's brothers before he hopped in the booth and started rapping. Dolph got involved with the streets early. Both of his parents were on crack, and he needed a way to support himself. But eventually, he decided to switch up how he was moving and got involved with the rap game. Dolph started passing out CDs all over Memphis just so people could hear his music. At first, he was handing them out for free, but not before long, his name was buzzing in the city, and he was starting to make money off of rap. By the time Dolph got into the game, Yo Gotti was already a legend in Memphis. He started dropping music all the way back in '96, and in 2012, he decided to level up and start his own label called Collective Music Group, or CMG. Gotti had the label for a couple years and still hadn't signed anyone to it. But after Dolph dropped a hot mixtape with Gucci Mane, Gotti reached out and offered him a deal. Dolph was all about breaking into the industry by himself though. By the time Gotti wanted to sign him, Dolph already invested over $1 million into his career and didn't want to ride anyone else's wave. Okay. From the outside, it looked like everything was still cool between them. But there was drama behind the scenes that led to Gotti's team allegedly trying to kill Dolph more than once. After Dolph turned Gotti's deal down, Gotti signed another Memphis rapper named Black Youngsta. Before we get into how Black Youngsta allegedly dumped 100 rounds into Dolph's SUV, we gotta take a look at how it all started and why Big Juke's murder might be connected to the situation. Back in 2016, Dolph finally released his debut album called King of Memphis. Yo Gotti had been calling himself the King of Memphis for years, like on the track BMF Memphis when he rapped, "I think I'm Yo Gotti, King of Memphis. I'm the youngest motherfucker who ever did it. 7 digits, I'm still strapped. Go against the king and get your ass kidnapped." According to rumors, Gotti was pressed about Dolph calling his album King of Memphis, and that's when all the drama started. Dolph took the first shot on Twitter and said, "Bro, I went from being my #1 fan and wanting to sign me to being my biggest hater." Gotti didn't respond to the tweet, but his artist Black Youngsta said he was gonna smack the shit out of Dolph if he saw him on the street. After Black Youngsta called him out, Dolph hopped on Instagram and dissed Gotti for sending his artist to fight him. Dolph aired him out for still being mad that he didn't sign with him, and also claimed that Gotti was pressed that he was still rocking with Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane and Yo Gotti were tight back in the day, dropped a couple tracks together that had the streets going crazy. Then they linked up in the studio for 2 full collab tapes. Fans were rocking with the music heavy and wanted to hear more, but then they split ways out of nowhere. Gucci was promoting his Trap God album and set the release date for October 17th or 10/17. 10/17 is the name of his label, so it was a big deal for Gucci. But then news broke that Gotti's project was dropping on the same day. Gotti said he ain't know they were both dropping albums that day, but he was hyped about it when he heard the news. According to Gotti, he reached out to Gucci because he was thinking, man, we're about to shut it down, but Gucci never replied. Gotti still didn't know there was any drama, but then Gucci tweeted, why would another artist put their mixtape out on 1017 if they ain't Brick Squad? You ain't me, the hashtag trap god. Gotti tried to reach out again and even changed the release date of his project, but apparently that wasn't the only issue Gucci had with him. Most rap fans know about the famous beef between Gucci and Jeezy that almost got Gucci killed. It started out as industry drama, but then the situation got so bad that Jeezy sent his homies into Gucci's crib, and Gucci ended up killing one of them in self-defense. Around the same time the release date drama was going on, Gotti had just hopped on a track with T.I. and Jeezy, and Gucci was obviously pressed about Gotti linking up with his op like that. Then Gucci dropped the track Birds of a Feather and rapped, I used to fuck with Gotti till he turned into a buster. I did a song with T.I., but the nigga's still a sucker. Gucci Mane and Young Dolph is always tight, and after Dolph died, he dropped the track Long Live Dolph and raps, R.I.P. to Dolph, long live the legend. From Memphis to the 6, they felt you in the bricks. The day you died, it broke my heart, a day I won't forget. One thing you know, you're missed. But even if the drama with Dolph and Gotti started because Dolph stayed cool with Gucci while they were beefing, it didn't take long for the situation to get violent. One of Black Youngsta's early hits was a track called Heavy, and Dolph said a shot at Black Youngsta on the track Ready when he rapped, all of my niggas, they ready. Y'all some pussies, you scared. All on the internet telling, trying to have a real nigga gelling. This shit around my neck so heavy, I'ma keep dripping sauce, spaghetti. Dolph also took shots at Gotti with the bar, any nigga that record when it's time for gangster shit, he the police. And I fucked your boss man baby mama, same hotel for 4 weeks. Never sent a little boy to take care of grown man business. If I was you, I'd be mad at me too, so I ain't tripping. Gotti still didn't respond, but Black Youngsta dropped the track Shake Some and said, Young Dolph Thornton wanna play ho, I'm on tour with the K ho, Mac 11, Smith & Wesson, extended clip, 100 rounds on the Draco. How the fuck you the king of Memphis? You ain't from the city, you from Chicago. Fuck boy, you better lay low. Killers move when I say so. Dolph wasn't too worried about Black Youngsta and never clapped back. But then a few months later, he dropped the track Play With Your Bitch and aired Gotti out with the line, don't play with me, ho Gotti, you a hoe, man. You went from my biggest fan to my biggest hater. Begging me to sign with you, but I had too much paper. And they said them pussy niggas on your team are on your draws. They say you make the pussy ass niggas call you boss, but they can't call you king because that's dope. He also allegedly took a shot at Juke on the same track when he raps, still that same nigga that used to front your big brother. Found out he a bitch too, now I call him your big sister. Nothing happened at first, but then Dolph took the disrespect to a whole new level with the video for Play With Your Bitch. He hired a Yo Gotti lookalike and stole a girl from him in the video. And the day after it dropped, Gotti's crew allegedly dumped 100 shots at Dolph's SUV. Dolph was touring in North Carolina, and before one of his shows, someone pulled up and sprayed over 100 bullets into his whip. Luckily, Dolph didn't get hurt because his whip was bulletproof. Dolph still pulled up to his event and performed Play With Your Bitch for his fans. Black Youngsta and his homies got booked for trying to kill Dolph, but eventually the charges got dropped because there wasn't enough evidence and nobody was working with the cops. That ain't stopped Black Youngsta from taking more shots at Dolph and accusing him of snitching. On the track Bulletproof, he raps, if you got love for me, can you at Young Dolph and tell him don't show up? I'm just saying, homie, why you give them people statements? Why you rap about that shit so your album will go crazy? Niggas do anything for the album sales. And you lost your bet if you bet that I'll tell. Black Youngsta wasn't the only one making music about the situation though. Surviving the shooting gave Dolph a lot of attention. And in 2017, he dropped the album Bulletproof and sent a message through his track list. If you read each song on the album in order, it says, 100 shots in Charlotte, but I'm bulletproof, so fuck them. That's how I feel. I'm so real, I pray for my enemies, I'm everything you wanna be, shaking my head. That wasn't the only time Dolph almost died over the Gotti beef though. And what happened next makes even more people think his brother Juke's death might be connected to the whole beef. A few months after Dolph's whip was shot, he was in Los Angeles at the same time as Gotti. According to rumors, Dolph found out where Gotti was staying and tried to press him. And that's when a fight broke out and one of Gotti's homies shot Dolph 3 times. The dude who shot Dolph was charged, but he dodged the case because nobody in Dolph's crew would work with the cops. After the shooting in LA, the beef seemed to chill out for a while. Dolph and Gotti were doing their own thing and weren't sending shots back and forth. Fans were hoping that Dolph left all the drama behind. But then in November 2021, young Dolph was tragically shot and killed while buying cookies at a shop in Memphis. Rumors were flying that Gotti and his crew had something to do with the murder, and one of Dolph's homies even claimed that Juke put a hit out on Dolph.
Because these folks had something to do with it, bro. These folks know that Juke put a hit out. You know what I'm saying? But nah, bro, I need to say this. Don't say that. They gotta tell the truth.
It took a while for the cops to book anyone for his death, but at first it didn't look like it was connected to Juke and Gotti at all. In 2022, the cops booked Justin Johnson and Cornelia Smith for the murder. Nobody knew why they wanted to kill Dolph, but then a few months later, a dude named Hernandez Govan was arrested too, and it changed everything. Govan was allegedly one of the biggest drug lords in Memphis and had ties to Gotti and Juke. He was also connected to the music industry through his daughter, Lotto Cash Desto, who was killed in Houston a year after Dolph died. Desto was at a stoplight behind another whip when two shooters hopped out of the car in front of her and started letting off shots. Her friend was rushed to the hospital with a gunshot wound, but Desto was tragically pronounced dead at the scene. Two dudes have been arrested for the shooting, but nobody knows why Desto was killed yet. There's a lot of rumors about the situation though, so let's break down why some people think it's related to Juke and Gotti's beef with Young Dolph. After Lotto Cash Desto died, her dad Govan made a post on Facebook apologizing to Desto, saying he cursed her with his lifestyle. Back then, nobody thought it had anything to do with Young Dolph, but that all changed after Desto's dad Govan was charged with putting a hit out on Dolph. None of this has been confirmed, so it's just street rumors as of right now. But some people think Dolph's homies have been sliding to get back for his murder, and Desto got caught up in the situation. Her dad Govan was charged just a month after Desto was killed, and there's a good chance the people in Memphis already knew he was involved way before the news ever broke. There's still no evidence that Gotti and Juke had anything to do with Govan sending shooters at Dolph, but we do know that they have ties to each other, so it's a possibility. All that's available right now are rumors though. When the murder trial for Dolph starts, there's going to be all kinds of new info coming out because one of the dudes involved already flipped and agreed to testify against everyone else in the case. A lot of people think Big Juke's murder has something to do with the Dolph beef, but there's also a rumor going around that he was taken out by someone close to him. The last post Juke made on Instagram was a photo of himself with the caption, "They don't want to face you, they want to snake you. Stay alert to stay alive. Watch your back at all times." It's not clear if Juke and Gotti really have ops inside their own group, but the post has a lot of people thinking that the killers were someone close to Juke. What's really crazy about the theory is the fact that Gotti's mother was allegedly in the whip with Juke and his homie when the shooting happened. It's just a rumor right now, but some people close to the situation are saying that Gotti's mom had to run out of the whip when the shots started going off and almost got hit too. It's not clear who killed Juke yet, but whoever pulled the trigger really wanted to take him out. They slid on him in broad daylight in a public area full of security cameras, so obviously they were willing to take a big risk just to get him. There's not a lot of info about what really went down yet, and Gotti hasn't spoken on the situation, but tap in for updates while the story develops.
I feel, man, everybody just, you know what I'm saying, keep your thoughts to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Basically, stop showing people your wealth. It's like the rap songs that they dissed each other with. You know what I'm saying? They're making money off of threatening each other. That's crazy. Somebody captivating off of this because the artist's not. You know what I mean? They making the little cheese they got. They post up in a couple of Instagram posts. Bah, gone. Now you can't do that shit no more. And then if other people live in this, it still got to deal with the consequences from that. It's scary, man, when you hang around people like that. So I'm glad I don't have people that I hang around with like that. But then again, you keep everything that you know you need, man. And it's like you don't always gotta be in the streets. That's just something I gotta tell anybody. Just find the avenue to where what you like to do on the outskirts, you got that shit on your property. And then you invite a selected few to do still some great shit. Not unless it's just that spot you need to go to because it's Jamaica, the Queens, or whatever. People get like a area like it's a hell of a thing to do. You can get killed going somewhere else. So therefore, man, when you get a house, put all the shit that you know you like to do, but then your own shit, camera that shit up. Don't do so much. Build you a grocery store in the back of your house. It's getting dangerous, y'all. That's all I can say. But I love y'all, man. Like, share, subscribe, man. I don't want to bore y'all to life. You know what I mean? So we finna get up out of here because I love my life and my wife. The coolest dude on YouTube, the Spiffy Guy for 55. We be back with another one, baby. Hey, man, put the guns down and pick the mics up, man. Get better bars, too, though.
This shit. Yeah, my niggas and shit. Man, this shit. This shit, man. Got in them. Got them. In the truck. Crazy. Damn.
That shit got to be something, man. Got to be some shit, man. They just pulled out the fucking parking lot and they pull them?
Yeah.
Come on, man. That shit ain't what's happening.
That shit ain't
That
right.
shit ain't what's happening.
But you know, this Virginia, that's how they play, though.
That's what they talking about, y'all. Look at it. This shit going up on World Star Hip Hop tonight.
I go straight down that bitch, they straight scream on my motherfucking ass. Like, you need to get the fuck from right here. This is an investigation. How the fuck is an investigation and y'all just pull somebody the fuck over? Straight out the goddamn parking lot. Just because you got Tennessee plates? Come on, man. That's some bullshit, man.
Yo Gotti got arrested.
They checking the car. I don't even know. Yo, Gotti.
He found the straps.
So when you roll with your straps, make sure you got the paperwork.
Hit squad. And reckless. You know what I'm saying? MC Doc, baby. We came to do this. You heard?
We up out of here, baby. Hit!